Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is the Science Dispatch podcast. My name is Cameron English. That is Dr. Chuck Dinnerstein, Director of Medicine at the American Council on Science and Health. Blowing everybody kisses because he's such a lovely gentleman. He loves his public. What's going on, Chuck? How are you?
I'm good. Yourself? All good?
I'm terrific. Can't complain. I don't have malaria. My kids are alive. There's food in the fridge. Things are pretty good on balance.
That's it. Now, and this just to show you that boomer world. My friend has shingles, so I'm very happy that I am not among those with shingles this week because he's just miserable.
It sounds unpleasant. I'm going to be honest. I've never had it myself, but
it is moving me more towards the shingles vaccine, which I hear is quite an experience in and of itself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, shot 1 is okay. Shot 2 it gets you to really relax for the day, I hear.
Fair enough. We're going to leave that to people's
imagination.
There you go. Okay. So unrelated to anything we're talking about today, this article is called People Hear Music Very Differently. Some Can't Enjoy It at All. And that, frankly, sucks. That's not part of the headline. That's my editorializing. This is by our colleague, Dr. Josh Bloom. Here's the introduction, Chuck, and then break down some of the details for us. So Josh writes, music tastes vary widely. One person melts into Mailer, another lives for Sinatra, and someone else wants Snoop on repeat. But while most of us chalk this up to preference, neuroscience suggests something deeper may be happening. For some people, music simply doesn't deliver pleasure the way it does for everyone else. Okay. I find this absolutely fascinating as a lifelong musician. The idea that there are people out there that don't enjoy music, it's completely foreign to me.
Well, it's interesting because most of the times that I've been writing about music, it's about how music entrains us, how the rhythm and the beat and the chorus cause large groups of people to have very similar heart rates and to really physiologically lock in with one another. That's one of the magic qualities that music has always had. So right away we can see from what Josh is getting at is that pleasure seems to be separate from this particular physiologic joining together. And what he points out is that there is a very variable connection between our auditory processing and our reward centers. And it's in the processing that the pleasure signals, he says, doesn't really kick in. And that's really the thrust of the beginning of the article. And I find it fascinating that we can become physiologically joined with complete strangers through music and through rhythm. But at the same time, we have very different pleasure responses to it.
You know, I don't know that this has any medical usefulness. It's just the kind of diversity you see among people, and I find it fascinating. And I think, I don't know, it's just part of growing up, right? Like even today, I think of the song Bohemian Rhapsody, or I listen to that song by Queen, and it reminds me of that scene from Wayne's World. And watching that scene was just a fundamental aspect of my childhood because my dad is a guitar player. I played my drums my whole life. So I have it was very formative to experience music that way. And for some people just to go I don't know, it's kind of like vanilla yogurt, I guess.
Well, it's interesting because you catch that age thing in there, and there is an age for people when they lock into music in that teen early 20s, and then evidently that's where you spend the rest of your life. When we look at my Spotify playlists, I'm still living. Well, luckily I'm living in musically, which was a great time. Though I'm sure everybody will claim that. But, I'm going to claim 62 through 76, 78, somewhere in there. So that's all good stuff that's in there. Though I would also like to report that I love Frank Sinatra for whatever reason that is. I love the American Songbook and all the stuff that was written in the 30s and 40s. I guess because, and you know what it is I like the big bands behind it.
I mean, I guess to give it some medical aspect, like enjoying things is good for you, right? Like having pleasurable experiences. And in fact, evolutionarily, that's why you do so many of the things that you do, right? That's why food tastes good, because that's where the nutrients you need are. It's why sex is pleasant, is because that's how you make more people, right? Like there's, and every once in a while, I guess, for one reason or another, there's just a hiccup, genetically speaking, or, just something doesn't connect the way it should, and people go, I don't know.
Well, I think that Josh was trying to get at the fact that it's just that those are two separate kind of processings that we have in our brain, and that in some people that link is not as strong. It's not even so much in terms of the taste of musical selections, but in the fact that music doesn't drive them.
Yes. Yeah. If you know anything about it, this condition or this phenomenon called synesthesia, I think I pronounced that correctly. What's going on there? He says that some musicians have this ability to actually see musical notes in a different color than other people.
Yes.
I don't even know what that means.
Okay, so now we're getting into the world of psychedelics, because that is one of the type of hallucinations that you can have with psychedelic drugs. And synesthesia just means it's a blending of more than one of your senses. They're not staying in their lane in particular, so that somebody will, in addition to hearing a note, can see the note. Okay, and we would make fun of somebody saying, "Well, I see people's auras," that you have a purple aura or a green aura or a red aura around you. We might make fun of them, but interestingly enough, when you think about it, our visual receptors have a range to them, and if your range is slightly different through a biochemical means, there's no reason you can't pick up some of the infrared energy coming off a person and see that as an aura, or describe it in that way. But Fantasia was the first video version of synesthesias that was presented to the American public.
Oh, okay.
Okay, if you think back that way. And there's a lot of people that would describe it. You described it because when you said, when I listen to Bohemian Rhapsody, it evokes a different memory.
Right.
And it may very well evoke a visual clue to it too. So that's a synesthesia that's separated out by enough time that you don't think it's one and the same. But if you heard the music and the image that you saw was Wayne's World, that's the blending of those two senses.
Here's another thing, and I don't want to keep going on too long, but there's so many cool little nuggets of information in here. So Josh writes, talking about pitch, like the ability to hear a note. He says the term is widely misunderstood even among musicians. Contrary to popular belief, perfect pitch, the ability to identify notes without seeing them being played or hearing a reference tone, is completely different from relative pitch, aka a good ear. This ability to tell if a note is even slightly off is far more common. Without a good ear, a seat in the New York Philharmonic would be a poor career choice.
I like it. That's Josh coming through with the zing at the end.
Right.
Well, you're the musician. Do you find that? I'm sure you can tell when it's off.
You can, but here's the thing: is like as a drummer, as a percussionist, what I'm listening to, it's different than the specific notes in many cases. So I can read sheet music, not as well as I probably should be able to. But you're like your ear is trained. At least if you're just a drummer, right? If you play other instruments, then this might not be the case. But my ear goes to different parts of the music. If I'm hearing a song,
what parts do they go to?
The rhythm, right? So like if I listen to something and it catches my attention, I'm going, what time signature is that in, right? If it sounds, especially if it's an older piece of music, or it's like Pink Floyd is not super progressive. But like if you're listening to some sort of progressive rock, it's almost certainly not in 4/4. So my mind goes there. I'm like, what's going, like, how many beats are in that measure? Just like, these are the kind of things I play with, right? Or why did the drummer play that?
Okay, so let me take it. Let me ask a different question then about it. So if you're attracted to the rhythm, and you can identify when the rhythm is off, how is that different from saying I'm going to improv it a little bit, and I'm going to transition over to a completely different rhythmic pattern? Is the key that you're switching from one pattern to another versus from one pattern to non-pattern?
I think it's intuitive unless you actually practice doing that consciously. So when you start writing music, for example, that skill becomes more important. Like, I'm deliberately going to play something different on this part of the song or whatever. Or if you actually start learning music theory. But I think for most people, at least if you're like, most people learn an instrument because they want to learn how to play popular songs, right? Like, I want to learn this Hendrix riff, you know?
Okay.
So they learn how to do that, and then they just play as they go. They figure it out, right? But it's intuitive. It's like you train your brain, you train your fingers how to be able to do a certain amount of things, and then you just do that, right?
Okay.
And you're not consciously thinking about
It's muscle memory. It's muscle memory.
Exactly. Right. Maybe that's part of being a surgeon too. It seems like there's probably some of that over time.
Perhaps.
I mean, maybe it's not good. Maybe you should be thinking about every single.
Yeah. No. That's okay. That's quite all. You made me think about. I played trumpet.
The sexiest of all instruments.
Well, and so I'm thinking back. Why did I play trumpet? And so, well, I decided to play trumpet because I saw The Music Man, and 76 trombones was there. And as it turns out, not only was I short in height, but I was short in arm length. So they indicated to me that I was not going to be able to play the trombone because I couldn't fully extend the slide. So I was switched over to the trumpet.
Very good. You learn something new every day, right? I knew lots about Chuck, but
that's not a good point in my life. I have I love listening to music, but in terms of generating music, it's not good.
I don't know, man. I think chicks dig the trumpet player.
Oh yeah, that's
right. You just carried the case around, and all the girls were like, "Oh, who's this fella?" All right, everybody. Thank you for enjoying my ridiculous jokes and this story, which once again is called People Hear Music Very Differently. Some can't enjoy it at all. Just helpful, fun science that you get to consume on our website, acsh.org. While you're there, click the subscribe tab. Give us your email address. We'll send you the stories we publish. The ones you read are usually the ones we talk about. Follow us on social media. It's at acsh.org. We're on YouTube, ACSH Matter of Facts, Facebook, Instagram. Go follow us on your preferred platform. Thank you as always, and we will see you next time.